Puma. Welcome to TIT TV. Christoph Dassler was a worker in a shoe factory, while his wife Pauline ran a small laundry in the Franconian town of Herzogenaurach, 20 km 12.4 mi, from the city of Nuremberg. After leaving school, their son Rudolf Dassler joined his father at the shoe factory. When he returned from fighting in World War I, Rudolf was trained as a salesman at a porcelain factory and later in a leather trading business in Nuremberg. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe now. In 1924, Rudolf and his younger brother Adolf, nicknamed Adi, founded a shoe factory. They named the new business Gebruder Dassler Schuhfabrik, Dassler Brothers Shoe Factory, which was the only business at the time that manufactured sports shoes. The pair started their venture in their mother's laundry. At the time, electricity supplies in the town were unreliable, and the brothers sometimes had to use pedal power from a stationary bicycle to run their equipment. In 1927, they moved into a separate building. The brothers drove from Bavaria to the 1936 Summer Olympics in Berlin with a suitcase full of spikes and persuaded United States sprinter Jesse Owens to use them. The first sponsorship for an African American, Owens won 4 gold medals. Business boomed. The Dasslers were selling 200,000 pairs of shoes annually before World War II. Both brothers joined the Nazi Party, but Rudolf was a keen Nazi who applied to join and was accepted into the Gestapo. They produced boots for the Wehrmacht. A growing rift between the brothers reached a breaking point during a 1943 Allied bomb attack. Adi and his wife climbed into a bomb shelter that Rudolf and his family were already in. "Here are the bloody bastards again," Adi remarked, apparently referring to the Allied warplanes, but Rudolf, due to his apparent insecurity, was convinced his brother meant him and his family. When Rudolf was later picked up by American soldiers and accused of being a member of the Waffen-SS, he was convinced that his brother had turned him in. After increasingly different views of how to run the business, the brothers split the business in 1948. Rudolf moved to the other side of the Iraq River to start his own company. Adolf started his own company using a name he formed using his nickname, Adi, in the first 3 letters of his last name, Das, to establish Adidas. Rudolf created a new firm that he called Ruda, from Ru in Rudolf and Day in Dassler. A few months later, Rudolf's company changed its name to Puma Schuhfabrik Rudolf Dassler. Puma and Adidas entered a fierce and bitter rivalry after the split. The town of Herzogenaurach was divided on the issue, leading to the nickname the town of bent necks. People looked down to see which shoes strangers wore. In the first football match after World War, 1948, several members of the West Germany national football team wore Puma boots, including the scorer of West Germany's first post-war goal, Herbert Berdanski. Rudolf developed a football boot with screw and studs called the Super Atom in collaboration with people such as West Germany's national coach Sepp Herberger. At the 1952 Summer Olympics, 1,500 meters runner Josie Barthel of Luxembourg won Puma's first Olympic gold in Helsinki, Finland. At the 1960 Summer Olympics, Puma paid German sprinter Armin Hari to wear Pumas in the 100-meter sprint final. Hari had worn Adidas before and asked Adolf for payment, but Adidas rejected this request. The German won gold in Pumas, but then laced up Adidas for the medal ceremony, to the shock of the 2 Dassler brothers. Hari hoped to cash in from both, but Adi was so enraged he banned the Olympic champion. During the 1968 Olympics Black Power Salute, Puma sponsored African-American athletes Tommy Smith and John Carlos. After having won gold and bronze in the 200 meters, respectively, took to the podium with their Puma suits in hand and bowed their heads and raised their black-gloved fists in silent protest during the playing of the national anthem, an act meant to stand up for human rights and to stand up for Black Americans. Puma launched the Clyde in 1973, designed for basketball player Walt Clyde Frazier. It gained wide popularity and became significant in the old-school hip-hop and skate-punk subcultures. Puma became a public company in 1986, and thereafter was listed on the Börse München and Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Its first profit since the IPO was registered in 1994. The company acquired Scandinavian Trader Group in 2001, later sold to Authentic Brands Group in 2015. For the fiscal year 2003, the company had revenue of €1.274 billion and majority shareholder monarchy. Regency sold its shareholdings to a broad base of institutional investors. In February 2007, Puma reported that its profits had fallen by 26% to €32.8 million, $43 million, $22 million during the final 3 months of 2006. Most of the decline in profits was due to higher costs linked to its expansion. Sales rose by more than a third to €480.6 million. In early April, Puma's shares rose €29.25 per share, or about 10.2 to €315.24 per share. On 10 April, the French conglomerate PR, which became Kering in 2013, announced that it had bought a 20% stake in Puma, clearing the way for a full takeover. The deal valued Puma at €5.3 billion. PR said that it would launch a friendly takeover for Puma worth €330 a share once the acquisition of the smaller stake was completed. The board of Puma welcomed the move, saying it was fair and in the firm's best interest. As of July 2007, PUR owned over 60% of Puma stock. In 2008, Melody Harris Gensbach was appointed Deputy Chief Executive Officer. Designer and artist Hussein Chalayan became creative director, and Puma acquired a majority stake in Chalayan's fashion business. In 2010, Puma acquired Cobra Golf and took over bodywear and socks company Dobotex the following year. I hope you guys enjoy this video. To please make sure like and subscribe my channel so you never miss any video from TIT TV.